Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever's watching. This tonight's video is going to be about what's going on with Matt Gaetz, some of the things being said about from him, and also things that have been coming out, being exposed, not just recently, but in the past few years, and some thoughts on Trump's own words on certain countries that maybe some people might be surprised to hear. So the first thing I want to go over is that kind of a refresher on what happened yesterday, that Matt Gaetz left his, stepped down from his nominated position as Attorney General, and Pam Bondi became the new nominated person for Trump's Attorney General. She's a friend of Trump's, has been for many years, so there's that loyalty factor. And so we're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about how Matt Gaetz was on Charlie Kirk's podcast program today, and he asked him, what's next for you, Matt Gaetz? What are you going to be doing? And he said, Matt Gaetz told him that, he's not going away. Yes, he's spending time with his family and all that, but he's not going to be going away. He's still supporting Trump. But also, he did say that he was not going to return to Congress. So he's not going to, even though he's the representative-elect for his position, his seat in Florida for Congress, the new Congress, 119th Congress, he is not going to be returning as the representative. So he said there's talented people out there that are going to be vying for his seat from Florida, and DeSantis is going to pick whoever, I guess, on that. And Gaetz happened to say he's not disappearing, but whatever he does, quoting him saying, it may be not an elected member of the government. So, I don't know what that is. Nobody knows. So I'm wondering, what is he going to be doing other than supporting Trump? Just curious. I never really paid attention to him, to be honest. I mean, somewhat I would hear every now and again what he'd been doing in Congress that was so, he always seemed to be like the firecracker that would go off in Congress when he would speak. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. I did catch Barry Cunningham's show today, and he was thinking these things, ponderings as I was, and there's a post from Matt Gaetz on X this afternoon that said something that kind of gives us an idea where he may end up, although I don't know what position that would be. He said on his post, he said, stock trading is such a huge part of Congress. Don't we know it? It shouldn't be. I can't wait to tell all these stories of corruption, treason, and betrayal coming soon. So that's a pretty big deal there. I don't know exactly what he plans to do, but it sounds to me that he's still going to be doing something along those lines of making bare the belly of the beast, so to speak. And it sounds like he's going to be doing something important, some important work in the near future here. And then also Vivek Ramaswamy, although he has said this a few times, but he said it again today in all caps, shut it down. Don't know what that means, but something's coming, apparently. And this all prompted me to remember certain things that have been happening in the past few years that have, lots of dirty, evil, and sadistic things. They were hidden in the darkness, and they have been exposed, a lot of it, like the Epstein sex trafficking and all that web and other sex trafficking ones, and the slimy people in Hollywood. Everybody knew that they already had problems there, but during the Me Too movement, you learned a lot of things through there. And there's so many things that just came to light in the past several years, especially during COVID and afterwards. So this actually aligns with some Orthodox prophecies that have already said that. And the people, the saints that have spoken on that died in the mid-1990s and even early 2000s. And they speak about all of this corruption and everything that is coming to a head. And we all felt that way. Something's coming to a head with all this terrible stuff. So we had, the lockdowns, the way people were treated during COVID. We have the WHO treaty that seemed to take away sovereignty of countries. We had like as I said, the webs of these sex trafficking, pedophile, whatever they are, all this horrible stuff, pornography, everything involved in all that, because it's all connected. Drugs, pornography, sex trafficking, those are all connected. The saints actually mentioned that one of the spiritual sons of Saint Joseph the Hesychast from Mount Athos, the holy mountain in Greece, and he spoke of that in 2001. That pornography, drugs, all these deceptive, horrible things that these people have been doing will be exposed, and well, it has been, and it continues to be. So the fact that he's saying he's going to expose, that Matt Gaetz is going to expose all this, it just made me think of that. Well, here it goes. Here's some more things, that go along with the prophecy that's showing that these were accurate. They didn't change. They were accurate. And of course, all this, maybe a pandemic, could come on the horizon. That was another thing that was said. So in other words, all of this is going to culminate and happen before World War III. Well, we saw all that, haven't we? We have seen that. And with what's happened recently with Russia and Ukraine and our country and the UK and everybody who's involved in this, which is really not a good thing, because anybody that's involved, especially in Europe, nothing good is going to happen during their war with Russia. It's devastating. So again, we're back to praying and asking mercy. I also want to share some things that I had listened to, and maybe you have caught it on the news. I don't know. I'm sure it's not on mainstream news, or they could have. They were trying to make Trump look bad, but I don't know if you remember when they were talking about. They supposedly leaked this talk that Trump had with one of his staffers or something. And this was when he was in office in 2016 to 2019. He had talked about how he was trying to meet with Netanyahu and the Palestinian leader at the time, and the Palestinian Authority leader. And he was trying to make a deal with them so that they can find a two-state solution, something that will help, will help bring peace to the region. And he said that when he talked to the Palestinian leader, that he was, pardon me, that he was, he had a nice talk with the Palestinian leader and said that he was like a father figure to him. He said he was so kind to him. And I was like, oh, wow. And he could have kept, he could have talked to him forever, apparently. But then when he went to talk to Netanyahu about some kind of settlement, a resolution of some sort that would help, he was like, oh, I don't know. He didn't really want to do that. And he realized, and Trump realized, that Netanyahu never wanted peace, never wanted a two states, never wanted that, which, if you've been following me, that you know that he didn't, he never wanted that. So, this was something that he talked about, and that he, behind closed doors, that, how dare he say that, in person. He's not going to do that. He's, if somebody's listening and he's on the news, he's going to say, oh, everything's okay, and I'm all for Israel and all that. And in reality, he's a lot more objective on that matter. In his first term, he was surrounded by neocons and lobbyists and everybody that picked everything for him. All of the suggestions came from these people of who he should put in. Now he's doing his own picks. So I guess, people always say you got to give him a chance or whatever. The other thing he talked about just in the past month or two, couple months maybe, he was on a podcast, and the man asking him questions was saying, he was talking about, I think it was Patrick can't remember how to say his name. Anyway, that podcaster, he was asking him, well, how are you going to work with Iran? Iran's this horrible place. And Trump said, well, I would like Iran to prosper. That's not something a lot of people want to hear. I was happy to hear it, because I've never considered Iran this horrific place. Yes. But, I go by history, how Iran was treated by us all the way back in 1953, when the CIA toppled their government. We installed who we wanted, and it turned out to be a dictator, and then Iran went down the tubes as far as the culture there and the people there because of us, as always. In any case, then he asked, the interviewer guy asked him, well, the leadership they have in Iran right now is not very good. So he was suggesting to Trump that there should be a regime change there. Not for that either. And that was what Tulsi Gabbard always talked about. She's not for regime change. People have to make their own decisions for their countries. And, to put us in there and our people, our military is not, no. So, he said, when the guy said that to him, President Trump said, Trump, he wasn't president. He was just a couple months ago. But anyway, Donald Trump said, we can't even fix our own country. Why would we try to do that and supposedly fix this other country? It's cause more problems, just like here, and it's true. He has common sense. He has practicality. He has, he understands. So, we have to think about these things. That he has a more open mind to different countries than most of our leaders have in many years. And I appreciate that. As World War III, I consider that we're in this on the cusp, but more like intermediate stage, since we're going through all these different, battles and wars in certain areas in the world. But, it is a world war because it's all kind of connected. But the big blow up hasn't quite happened yet. So we have to pray for a less severe outcome, because the estimated numbers that I have heard through these prophecies of lost people is between 500 and 700 million people. And, and you say that's a lot of people and the big blow up when everybody gets involved is like 3 days and nights, and you're going to lose that many people. Perhaps it's over this whole realm of time, but we have to be reminded the weapons we have nowadays are 100 times more deadly, powerful than the atomic bombs we had that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So let's pray that God has mercy on us and that on the world, and that He lessens the carnage, the destruction, the death. Anyway, I know I went on long today, so I'll be wrapping it up here now. I just wanted to share some thoughts there. What are your thoughts about what Trump said? Did you expect that of him to say about the Palestinian leader or about Iran? Was this surprising to you? Or was it more like, oh, that sounds like Trump? Thank you for watching my video. And also, if you like my content, please follow my channel and like my videos if you've been watching them. Thank you so much. I hope you have a blessed evening. Until next time, take care.